Alright everybody, this is it. This is the end of the Leprechaun franchise. It's time to rank these bad boys and move on to a much better franchise next week. Can't wait to show you what it'll be. If you follow my reviews, I think I hinted at it before what the next one will be. So if you don't know, it'll just be a surprise. Can't wait. So let's just end this series with a ranking video. And this is gonna be fun because I hate these movies. Half of them are terrible. A couple of them are guilty pleasure, and one of them was guilty pleasure but really good. So yeah, it's not a great franchise by any means. It's very B level status, very over the top, corny as shit, and not so good. So yeah, just very bad. This is the first franchise that I've done so far. I've done Freddy, Michael, Hatchet, Saw, and now this one. Not one movie in this franchise was good enough for me to say go out and buy it. None of them were purchase worthy. So that's the first. There was a couple of Netflix ones, and the rest were a waste of time or just want to kill myself. Just so terrible. So yeah, but which one was the most terrible? Let's start there. What's at the bottom of my list? What is number 8? I gotta say it. It's Leprechaun in the Hood. This movie was just terrible, and I don't want to sound redundant because I could say that for the next 3. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But this movie, why was it terrible? What are all the things that stand out about it that are terrible? First up, this movie is shot the worst out of all of them. It felt like maybe I could have made it. Seriously. Hand me a camera, I could make this movie. And that sounds cocky and like I'm a stubborn, I don't know, it sounds, like you want to send hate towards me for saying such a thing. Like, oh, look at your ego. No, watch this movie. You'll feel the same way. Like, I think I could do that too. That's how bad it is. The acting is probably the most atrocious next to part 2. And the kills are not there. Everything's off camera. Even strangulations, the camera gets so close that you can't even see the strangulation happening. The Leprechaun is not fun at all. That's really what it comes down to. When you're ranking these movies, it's like, was the Leprechaun decent? And in a lot of them, you're just like, I don't even give a fuck about him no more. Even though he's the best part, he still could be the worst. In this movie, he's terrible. The makeup, just everything he says, the Tiger Woods reference makes no sense. You've been locked away or comatose or some statue figure for how many years? 30 or some shit, and you just know who Tiger Woods is? That's a nitpick, but still. This movie was just god-awful. The flute thing was interesting, and they did, hardly anything actually decent with it. It could have been a much better movie. The zombie hookers, the green eyes, just possessing people, the end rap song by the Leprechaun was awful. These rappers had no chemistry with each other. When one dies, the other two don't give a fuck. They just want to steal the flute again. This movie isn't even about gold no more. There's no gold, it's just a flute. You got some transvestite in here, and you're why is that necessary? It's not. It's really not. But yeah, this movie was just so god awful. And they don't even kill the Leprechaun. There is no weakness. I think this is the one where there really wasn't a weakness. It was just the 4-leaf clover could slow him down. So yeah, this whole franchise has no continuity. So yeah. Anyways, let's move on to my number 7. Number 7 is going to go to Leprechaun 2, or Bride of Leprechaun. This movie's biggest problem is Bridget and her acting, and everyone's acting around her. It's awful. The Leprechaun's decent in this movie. It's a shame that decency had to be in this one. I would have loved the fun things that he did in this movie to be in Leprechaun in the Hood instead. But, because I fucking hate Bridget. But I hate Leprechaun in the Hood more, so, I don't know. But I still do not want to revisit this movie ever because of Bridget and all the acting from her and everyone else. The line she gives, "It's over? It's really over?" I fucking hate her. The only thing good about this movie is the body double tits. That's it. And that's fucking pathetic. They introduced new lore. This is the first sequel, so it's the first one to say fuck you to continuity, where the Leprechaun is allergic to iron. They put him in a safe as if that matters because he has teleportation. This is one of 3 movies out of this franchise where teleporting is a major thing, and he does it a lot. But then they don't use it when it's necessary, like where it makes sense. And it's like, why isn't he teleporting? It's stupid. You got the whole scam thing going on with Cody, and it's like, I can't like Cody because he's a lying, deceitful, sham piece of shit who fucks tourists over. This movie has the biggest downgrade in budget, like looks wise. It's just terrible. As soon as it opens, you're like, oh god, this is awful. The fact that he has to make someone sneeze 3 times to make them his bride makes no sense, and it never works. And he's forcing them to sneeze, but what, he can only force them to do it twice? Just wait around. They're going to sneeze eventually. It's springtime. Pollen's in the air. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. It's just stupid. What the fuck is going on with this movie? The whole mower thing makes no sense unless that's the leprechaun. Like, that put the mower there? Because who the fuck just leaves their mower sideways 6 feet in the air like that? It's dumb. And then he gets tricked with candy. He gets golden candy and mistakes it for gold that he earlier just knew was missing just by looking at a pile of gold. So you know your gold that well. But not anymore. It's just stupid. Awful. Watch my review. You'll get all my in-depth thoughts and nitpicks about this movie. It's awful. But the biggest thing is Bridget. Fuck you, Bridget. Number 6 is kind of tied with number 5, but I'm going off of which is the better made movie with these next two. Number 6 is going to Leprechaun 4. This movie is, like I said, so cringeworthy, but at least the acting is actually surprisingly decent. And you got Demon from not Nightmare, Friday the 13th Part 5, New Beginning. He's the best character in this film, and we got some nudity in this movie, some very unnecessary forced nudity where she's like, "You're doomed. Look at my tits." But yeah, the comedy's there. It's a very, very hokey movie, but it goes in areas where I'm just like, this isn't funny no more. This is almost like porn and embarrassing. Like, I just like, if someone walked in, I'd be like, oh shit, turn it off. I don't want to get caught watching this movie. It's just that embarrassing. Like, seriously, it's like so far out there. I don't know. It's just me. It's my own personal opinion. The jokes were just too far-fetched, too unrealistic, and boom mics. You see some boom mics. It's very just dumb. It's goreless. A guy's head gets smashed in. Makes no sense. What world is this anymore? And he doesn't even die. The leprechaun doesn't die at the end. He blows up, but he's still alive. And this is the one that says out loud that he's immortal. And he's not even like looking for gold no more. He's just looking for the bride. Once again, like part 2. It's just dumb. It's all dumb. They insert this like shrink ray thing and they use it to make him big. For what? Just for making him big. That's it. And he doesn't even kill anybody when he's big. So it's like, well, that was pointless. It didn't help him out at all. But at least this movie has some decent humor. It's like, just invite your friends over and get drunk and then watch this movie and you'll have a blast. But anyways, let's move on to my number 5. Number 5 is going to go to Leprechaun Origins. This is made way better than the previous films I just stated, and maybe better than some of the other ones I'm going to talk about. But this movie is just so bland, generic. The look of it, the feel of it, the tone, complete shift and change from the franchise that was all supposed to be fun and lighthearted, not taking itself serious, and this one just completely changes everything, takes the heart and soul out of the franchise out. It's just dumb. WWE, they're not good. Stop doing this shit. And don't call yourself a Leprechaun movie. This is a monster movie. It's a 4.5-foot tall monster that walks like an ape, and we never really fucking see it, but when we do, it's like a blurry frame. Suck my blurry dick. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that movie. And there's no nudity, hardly any gore, characters suck, don't know anything about them. Let's move on to my number 4. My number 4 is gonna go to Leprechaun Back to the Hood. This one, unlike In the Hood, actually has some fun moments that are genuinely fun, some actually good humor, some, like the ninja thing. I like the whole, like, replacing the N-word with ninja. I thought that was hilarious. So there is some good humor in this movie, and there actually is gore. I like the whole, like, Julius boxing thing that they got going on. Some of the, just like I said, the humor actually lands. The leprechaun's fun in this movie. He's ripping cops' legs off like it's butter. Just like, it's so easy. And I like they used some familiar lore from the first movie. It's a leprechaun. It's a 4-leaf clover again. And they throw him in cement and he's dead. It's still not a great movie. Like I said, like all these are like waste of time. And just F movies. Like movies I gave D's and F's to. So we're still not in the good guilty pleasure section yet. But this is probably the best of the worst ones. But then let's move on to the other ones that are good. That are somewhat decent. So yeah, let's go over my number 3. My number 3 is going to go to Leprechaun Returns. I think the biggest thing that holds this back from being better than the next two is just the characters aren't as fun. They're too much. I hate that they made Lila or Leela, whatever. They made her basically a one-line giving leprechaun herself. Like, she was like dropping more one-liners than the actual leprechaun. And she didn't take anything serious. And there was like a tonal change where at the beginning of this movie it felt like it was like mixing half serious, half comedic, and then it just completely goes down just comedic. Like, there's nothing serious no more after like Ozzy's dead and he becomes a ghost and he's like haunting her dreams and shit. After that, it's just nothing serious no more. So it was just like a complete tonal change, and the characters are god awful. They make the most idiotic decisions ever, and they're just not fun at all. Like, they're just dumb. I hate how like the girl's like, you know, get away from me, I don't want to fuck you, and then she fucks him anyways. The only thing good about this movie is the gore. This is the goriest of them all, and that's why it's so high up. The Leprechaun was okay. I felt he laughed a little too much. Way too much. They could have toned that down a little bit. It was like Wrong Turn 5 and 6 where like the hillbillies laughing all the time. You're like, I get it. Your laugh's supposed to be creepy, but stop laughing, buddy. There's nothing funny. I love the little homages that we get to the first one. I love that this one has continuity. This is the only film that's a legit sequel, so that gives it a lot of points too. And I like that we get Ozzy back, and we hear Tori's voice, Jennifer Aniston, whoever did her voice. I know it wasn't really Jennifer Aniston, but whoever did it sounded just like her. Now let's move on to my number 2. What's it going to be? Leprechaun or Leprechaun 3? My number 2 is going to go to the original Leprechaun. The biggest problem with this one compared to Leprechaun 3, like the thing that holds this one below Leprechaun 3, was this one didn't really have as much fun as it could have, and it's just very tame. We get a couple of kills. The pogo stick one, that's interesting, but then we just get like this cop who gets his neck snapped. Like, you got this thing with magical powers. All this, you know, potential. And you use it with a pogo stick and that's it. And it just becomes redundant too. Like, the whole third act, it's just, it drags out for so long of them just getting chased over and over and over again. It starts to get boring after a while. But it's still the most fun compared to the other ones. But yeah, this one just, it doesn't have as much fun and heart as the third one. It doesn't have any real comedic moments that the third one has. So yeah, if I'm gonna watch a Leprechaun movie, I want it to be fun, but not cringy, just fun and some cool deaths. And the third one really tops this one. So let's move over to my number 1. My number 1 is definitely going to Leprechaun 3. This is the one that does the most with the character of the Leprechaun. Like, it knows that he has all this potential for great kills, magical powers, and they use it. He's blowing people up, he's sawing people in half, he's doing all kinds of crazy shit. He's rhyming the entire movie, and it's awesome. All the funny things he does when he flips them off, even the little shit like that, it just makes me laugh. I love it. The only thing I didn't really care for was the whole, you know, that one character, I forget his name, whatever. He turns into a leprechaun because he got bit and then bled. He bled into his wound. So that was the only thing I didn't really care about. But the characters in this movie, compared to all the other ones, the characters in this movie, it doesn't matter if you like them or you're rooting for them. What matters is, do you even like find them fun or entertaining? Because if you're not supposed to like these people, they can at least be entertaining. These people are entertaining. Mitch, the casino owner, the two like henchmen, like the what are they, like loan shark people. Everybody's fun in this movie. You got Caroline Williams from all kinds of horror movies. Everybody is awesome in this movie. Like, it's all fun. It's a consistent tone throughout. This one probably has the most consistent tone of all the films. This one doesn't try to like weigh itself down with like character like drama or anything at all. Like, where the hood ones would just, it would be like very stupid as shit, but then there'd be like these weird drama situations. Like, I don't care. In this one, it knows what it is and it does it the best. But it's still like not a great movie. It's not a great made movie. There's still boom mics that you'll see hanging in frame. So yeah, like I said, none of these movies are worth owning. But if you're gonna watch a Leprechaun movie, Watch the first one maybe, and watch the third one. Leprechaun 3 is definitely my number one. And that's my ranking of the Leprechaun franchise. What's your ranking? I want to see it. Put it in the comments below if you've even seen this entire franchise. Poor unfortunate soul you must be to see this franchise. I watched it for you so that you didn't have to. So if you haven't seen this franchise, don't watch it. Just watch the third one. Watch the third one. That's it. That's all you need to suffer through. The third one is the most fun. But if you have been unfortunate to sit through all these films, let me know your ranking in the comments below. And do you agree with me at all? Do you think... I saw somebody, some other YouTuber, put part 2 as his number one. And that made me want to scream. Fuck that movie. But hey, everybody has their own opinion. So yeah, there's plenty of different opinions. Some of you might actually like part 2. So yeah, just surprise me. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hit this little like button over here, and you can follow me on social media at Real Mr. Hat, and subscribe today just by clicking on my cartoon face if you haven't already in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.